Did anyone see the Bob Knight 30 for 30? Did you see the what was it called? Do you know what it was called? The End of Days, the End of Night. Wasn't it called something like that? Just so you know, I watched it. Let's just say it was not good for Bob Knight. It was just not good. So the story was about a reporter from CNN, Sports Illustrated at the time, right? Remember CNN owned Sports Illustrated or something? They were in bed together. So they sent this guy to do the story on why 3-star players at Indiana transferred. All 3 in the same year transferred. What he went and found out is that by the time he was done with the story, to make a long story short, he found out that Neil Reed had been choked by Bob Knight. And that Indiana covered it up, right? And wouldn't even talk about it. Nothing. They do nothing. They did nothing about it other than sweep it under the rug. And to make the story even better was they could never get anyone to testify that he had done it until they finally got Reed and one other guy finally went on record. And then once Collier went on record, I believe, and said that he did it, then Ricky Calloway came on record and said he did it. And then the whole, barn door blew open, and then everybody started saying he did it. And then, to top it off, because he denied it and everything else, and then, in the end, someone sent a tape of the practice in question with blown-up footage of Bob Knight choking Neil Reed by his neck. Choking him. Don't you remember seeing this on TV one day when he choked the kid and his head snapped back and then the kid transferred? Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but so it messed with this kid so bad. I never knew, because everyone hated Neil Reed. You remember? The story goes that everyone hated him. And, they blamed him for everything. They blamed Neil Reed for Bob Knight being fired after 30 years in Bloomington, right? They blamed the kid, not the guy. So they didn't blame the coach that choked him. They blamed the kid that got choked. Imagine being him and an adult that you play for, a coach you play for, that you were recruited and you got a full scholarship to play for, that guy chokes you by your neck and means business doing it. He wasn't doing it for fun. He meant business, right? The story gets so creepy because did you know that Neil Reed would eventually die at 32 years old? He dropped dead one day of he had a heart attack and dropped dead. He was like a high school coach and everyone loved him. He was adored by all these kids and players and teachers and at the school, this high school that he was at. And he literally lived his life the nicest guy in the world with the biggest smile and the greatest heart, and he grew older and got fat and everything and had a beard. He never played basketball. He played in Europe, pro, in Holland. And then he came back to the States and became a high school coach and eventually dropped dead. So it was just the saddest story I've ever seen, and it really painted a horrific picture of Bob Knight. It was terrible what they did to him. But it was all, probably fairly accurate. He did it. He's guilty. He's busted. They showed this guy completely with more power than the governor and the president of the university, Miles Brand, everybody. There were teachers that tried to get him in trouble. They all ended up wanting to kill themselves. And one of them moved back to Canada and got death threats. They said they were going to kill his family.